Hello, I'm Ritin. The topic of my presentation is a 3D model of cardiac cycle. I chose inner space as my design direction. In biomedical aspects, the application of 3D models has been realized in many medical research and principal demonstration. In recent years, with the development of biotechnology, 3D printing technology could be used to reconstruct human tissues at the anatomic level to meet the insufficient resources of medical donations. In addition, at the observable level, the 3D model helps us demonstrate the interaction and fusion between cells. I chose the anatomy of the heart as my research area. In the initial stage, I mainly understood the development of blood during the cardiac cycle. I hope to demonstrate the blood flow within the heart through a 3D model. However, there are many precedents for the same topics and explanation in both 2D and 3D. Therefore, I hope to find some different viewpoints to express the concepts of the cardiac cycle. So the study points out that in the cardiac cycle, different heart sounds could reflect the rational changes and pathology position of the heart disease. In my sketch, I used the soundtrack of each heart sounds as a kind of visual data, which means that from each different soundtrack, it's possible to tell which part of the heart is in trouble. So this is similar to the principle shown in the electronic diagram. Uh, I just abstract visual data into lines. So I just try to think about what it would be like to take a 2D soundtrack and turn it into a 3D dynamic representation. And in the cultural societies, the heart is often used as a sense to express people's emotions, whether excited or depressed. These emotions could be described as being from the heart. So, in addition, the heart is the body's blood organ. It provides people with the power of life. So, a lot of art uses the heart as a metaphor for the roots of the plants. So it's quite like a growth, a trend. Therefore, I try to express the power of the heart in the model. I use lines around the shape of the heart to abstract a sense of rhythm. In addition, the arrangement of lines could be seen as a transmission of emotions. For example, irritability may be associated with the messy lines and pretty more fast beats. Well, at the beginning of the 3D model construction, I chose the style of the cyberpunk. So in cyberpunk style works, we could always see the linear neon lighting surrounded by spherical dynamic colors, such as some lighting blue and pink. Additionally, the contrast that changed in the temperature is that the tone could be bring the bigger impact to the audience. So I drew a sketch of what I imagined to be a cyberpunk heart, in which there is some neon lines represent the blood, uh, and also the laboratory pumps, and the metallic textures was used to describe a beating heart supported by artificial energy. The metal on the heart has a decadent rusting quality, so yet the pipes and pumps keep the heart beating. So I think it's quite a strong construct to reflect to think about the nature and the artificial. So we always think of the heart as driving force of nature. Yet the heart has lost its power, but it might be popped up by the synthetic technology of the future. So in the model making, I spent a lot of time to make the model of the heart. Since the shape of the heart is irregular, I found I first used the cube to adjust the overall shape by cutting and subdividing, and then carried out some stretching and smooth deformation locally with the sculptural tools. And the main blood vessels, I extruded some faces. So and then just adjust the shape of these faces to keep it into the shape of a ring. So and also I try to unwrap the UV and map it. However, during the modeling process, with many maybe I just made some edges, quite a lot of messy. So it's hard to divide it correctly and properly. So there was always a split effect on the UV map, so which made the final results unreal. I try my best to keep the UV map cropped relatively complete, but a lot of flaws could still be seen. So finally, I dropped the texture for the final result. Well, due to the limitation of my ability, I failed to build a final model into an ideal form full of technology elements. So I just wanted to use the animation to express a decline, dismiss style of the heart of the biological form, and also as well as the growth of these light nylon liners. So I think which representing like the artificial and technology. So in the first place, I used to the nonlinear inflatable and deformable effector to create the rhythmic effect of the cardiac cycle. I use the effect of particle to stimulate. I use the particle effects to stimulate the death of fragmentation, and also these lines are animated by the growth effect. So in the final light color rendering, the light effect varies with the cardiac cycle is adjusted. I inserted some technological elements into the construction of the whole sense, such as the label-like workbench and the messy cables. I used a displacement map for the entire background so that the layering of the technology was highlighted, and also two fluorescent panels placed on the ground to add a scientific tone to the scene. Also, natural light is added to ensure that the model is not too dark. So the final effect of the model still has many places that could be future updated and improved. For example, the pacing of the video and particular effect of the heart was also far from what I expected to be a more natural display. So, but this course, this task allowed me to get in touch with and understand the manufacturing of the process of 3D models. So in the future, I expected that I could express my artistic views and opinions through 3D CGI. So these are my presentation. Thank you.